Somebody told me last month that my drain advice was wrong. He said he had been running the screen and the monthly treatment for 2 years straight, exactly the way I laid it out. And his kitchen sink still backed up on him in March. So I asked him one question. Which drains did you put the screen on? And he went quiet for a second, and then he said, well, the bathroom sink. That was it. That was the whole thing. He did the work right. He did it in 1 room out of 4. And before we're done here, I'm going to show you the one drain in your house that will tell you weeks ahead of time whether you're looking at a cheap fixture problem or something a lot more expensive. It's not any of the 4 we're about to walk through. Now, the reason that habit felt like it was working for 2 solid years is the same reason it fooled him. His bathroom sink never gave him a lick of trouble. Every time he watched that water spin down clean, he got a little confirmation the system was working, and every one of those pointed him away from the 3 drains quietly filling up. The success is what hid the failure. So let me back up and give you the piece that makes all of this make sense, because once you have it, the rest of this video is just applying it. When a drain finally quits and you call somebody out, he runs a cable down that pipe until it hits the plug and chews a hole through it. That's the service. And to be fair, that is the right tool for a drain that is already blocked. But understand what you bought. He bored a channel through the middle of the obstruction and never touched the pipe wall. All that packed material coating your line is still sitting right there. He gave the water a tunnel. Think about a straw with something dried on the inside of it. You can poke a wire down the middle and get airflow back. The straw is not clean. It's a straw with a hole in it. That's why your clog comes back. It was never removed. And that's also why the prevention habit is the real answer. Because the habit is the only thing in this whole business that deals with the wall instead of the hole. But the habit only protects what you pointed at. And this is where nearly everybody, including some people in my own trade, gets sloppy. We say drain singular like a house has one. Your house does not have one drain. It has 4 completely different machines that all happen to end in a pipe, and each one of them fails in its own specific way, on its own specific timetable, for its own specific reason. Point one habit at one of them, and you have covered 1/4 of your house. Let's go through all 4. Bathroom sink first, because it's the one everybody already handles. Your bathroom sink is a hair problem wearing a disguise. What actually plugs it is not hair by itself. It's hair that got glued into a mat by toothpaste and soap scum and whatever product came off your hands. Hair alone would mostly wash through. Hair with a binder holding it together builds a felt pad, and that pad has something to grab onto, which is the pop-up stopper linkage. That's the little rod and pivot assembly that makes your stopper go up and down. It sits right in the flow. It's got a horizontal arm sticking through the drain body, and it collects like a rake. So the catch here is not a flat screen over the top. It's a strainer built for a pop-up drain, the ring or basket style that sits down in the opening around the stopper. $3 to $5 each in a 2-pack, and the common hardware store ones run right around $3.50. The branded inserts run $10 to $18, and they do work better. But nobody needs the expensive one to get the benefit. And once a season, pull that stopper all the way out. Reach under the back of the drain body, loosen the nut on the pivot rod, slide the rod back, and the stopper lifts straight out. Whatever comes up with it was going to be your clog. 5-minute job. And the highest value thing you will ever do to a bathroom sink. Now, the tub and shower, and this one is the big one, because hair is the #1 cause of bathroom drain clogs, and the tub is where the volume is. A bathroom sink catches what's on your hands. A shower catches everything that comes off your whole head and body every single day, along with a steady film of soap scum that narrows the pipe from the wall inward. The catch depends on your drain, and I'll be straight about the trade-off. A flat mesh screen on top is the cheapest thing going, and it works fine right up until it loads. Once hair piles on it, water has to find its way around the pile, and you get a slow shower that reads like a clog when what you have is a full screen. The insert style seats down inside the opening and wraps hair around a stem underneath, so it keeps draining through the sides, even when loaded. That's why it costs more. Either way, clear it when you can see it, not when the water starts standing. Soap scum is the other half of the shower problem, and no screen on earth catches it, because it goes in as a liquid and comes out on the wall as a film. That's the part the monthly treatment is for, and we'll get to exactly how that works in a minute. Your kitchen sink is not a hair problem at all, which is exactly why the bathroom habit does nothing for it. The kitchen is a grease problem, and grease is sneaky in a way hair's not. Hair you can see going in. Grease goes down warm, and warm grease is a liquid, so it looks like it left. It did not leave. It travels a few feet, cools against a cold pipe, and sets. Same as the drippings in a roasting pan you left on the counter. When in pourable, came out solid, and it does not set in a neat lump. It coats evenly all the way around. Then the next round sets on top of that, and the starch off your pasta water sticks into it, and now you've got a layer with texture that every particle going past can catch on. That's why kitchen lines fail from the inside out, and why a kitchen drain call costs more than a bathroom one. Bathroom sink clog, you're looking at roughly $175 to $300. Kitchen sink, $250 to $450, because the blockage tends to sit further down the line and it's harder material to get through. So the kitchen catch is a real basket strainer, the kind that seats down in the opening, not a flat disc that slides around and lets half of everything past. And the habit that goes with it is a weekly flush of hot tap water. 30 seconds, run it hot, straight down. All you're doing is keeping the grease that made it past you mobile long enough to get out of your house instead of setting on the wall. Quick thing here. I put together a guide called 100 Old House Fixes that save you thousands. Much of it is catching a small leak while it's still a 10-minute fix instead of a floor and cabinet repair. The rest gives you the questions to ask a contractor so you can tell a straight answer from a pitch. Links in the description, or scan the code on your screen. Hot tap water, not boiling. I want to be very clear on this because it matters more than people think. Your water heater puts out somewhere between 120 and 140 degrees, and that is plenty to move grease. Boiling water is 212. Standard PVC drain pipe is rated for about 140, and its joints are solvent welded, meaning chemically fused rather than threaded. Run boiling water through that, and you soften the plastic and stress every joint it touches. And the worst case is where people reach for it hardest, a slow drain, because there the boiling water does not pass through. It pools against one section of pipe and bakes it until it cools. If you have a garbage disposal, it also chews up the plastic baffles and rubber seals inside, and that becomes a leak under your cabinet. There's no version of this where boiling water is the smart play. Now, let me introduce you to the fourth drain, and I'd bet money most of you have never once looked at it. Your washing machine. Behind it, there's a pipe coming up out of the wall or the floor, usually about 2 inches across, and the machine's discharge hose just hangs down inside it. That's a standpipe. And every wash cycle, your machine pumps lint and fiber and detergent residue straight down it under real pressure. Lint is the biggest repeat offender in laundry drain clogs, and detergent residue films the wall, the same way soap scum films a shower drain, narrowing the pipe gradually rather than plugging it all at once. Nobody inspects it. It's behind the machine, it's out of sight, and it never asks for attention until the day your laundry room floor is wet. Now, the obvious move is a mesh lint sock over the end of the discharge hose, and you'll see those recommended everywhere for about $10 to $15. I'm going to give you the warning that usually gets left off. Read the package on those, and a lot of manufacturers specifically say do not use them in a standpipe. Here's why. A standpipe is a narrow opening, and your washer pumps out fast. If that sock loads up with lint and you have not checked it, the water backs up and comes right over the top of the pipe onto your floor. You traded a slow clog for a flood. So if your washer drains into a laundry sink, put the sock on and you're in good shape, because an overflow just goes in the basin. If it drains into a standpipe in the wall, you can still run one, but you're signing up to check it before every load, the same way you clean the lint screen in your dryer. If that's not a habit you'll keep, skip the sock and put your effort into the monthly treatment and an annual look at the standpipe instead. I'd rather you do the honest thing than the thing that sounds better. And do not go after a laundry standpipe with a wire coat hanger. Older homes very often have ABS or cast iron there, and a hanger will gouge or punch through it. A proper flexible hand snake is $15 to $25 at any hardware store. So that's 4 drains and 4 different failure modes. Now let me tie the routine to them, because the 3 moves never change. Only the aim does. Move 1, catch. Every drain gets something over it, matched to the drain. Pop-up strainer on the bathroom sinks. Hair catcher in the tub and shower. Basket strainer in the kitchen. And in the laundry, either a sock you will genuinely check or an honest decision not to use one. Move 2, digest. This handles what no screen can catch, the film on the wall. A bioenzymatic treatment is a bottle of harmless bacteria and enzymes that eat organic buildup, a completely different animal from the caustic stuff. No fumes, no heat, safe on old pipe and safe on septic. Monthly is the cadence for most drains. Kitchen with a disposal every 2 weeks is better, because food waste puts down heavier buildup than anything else in the house. 3 rules on enzymes, none optional. It needs 6 to 8 hours of standing time, so pour it last thing at night, and nobody runs that fixture until morning. It will not rescue a drain that is already blocked, because the product has to sit in contact with the buildup, and a blocked drain is full of standing water it cannot get through. And never chase it with boiling water, because anything over about 140 degrees kills the bacteria you just paid for. If enzyme is not in the budget, A cup of washing soda followed by hot tap water down the kitchen drain does honest work on grease. And different mechanism. It reacts with the fat rather than digesting it, but it's real and it's cheap. Move 3, flush. Weekly hot tap water in the kitchen. 30 seconds. That's the whole move. And one flat rule across all of it. Never mix drain products. Not enzyme with anything, not one cleaner with another. Mixing kills the enzyme culture at best. And at worst, you're making something genuinely dangerous in a closed pipe. One product, one drain, leave it alone to work. Now let's talk about what all of this costs against what it prevents, because this is where the argument stops being a preference and starts being arithmetic. Catches for a whole house, call it 4 to 6 of them, runs you $15 to $30 one time. An enzyme dose lands around $1 to $2, so call it $1.50 a month per drain you treat. A hand snake, if you ever want one, is $15 to $100. Against that, a professional drain cleaning call this year averages right around $245 nationally, and the typical bill lands somewhere between $150 and $450, depending on which drain and how bad. National franchises run higher, $350 to $450. After hours or weekends, add another $100 to $200. And if the buildup is spread along the line instead of plugged in one spot, snaking will not hold, and you're into hydrojetting, which averages about $475. So $1.50 a month against a $245 average call. You'd think somebody in my trade would have sat you down and explained that years ago. Almost nobody does. And I'm not going to dress that up as a conspiracy because it isn't one. It's arithmetic. There is no service ticket attached to a drain that's running fine. Nobody schedules a truck or writes an invoice off a screen you bought for $3 and a bottle you pour once a month. The money in this trade lives in the emergency, so that's what the trade talks about. Not malice, just where the revenue is. Nobody's coming to your door to sell you the boring version. That's what I'm for. Let me hit a few specific situations quick, because I know somebody watching has one of these right now. One fixture slow, and everything else fine. That's a local clog in that fixture's own branch line, and it's yours to handle. Clear it mechanically first, then start the habit. The habit is not a rescue, it's what you do after. Several fixtures slow at the same time, or the tub gurgles when you flush the toilet. Stop. That is not a fixture problem, and nothing you pour will touch it. Hold that thought, because that's exactly where we're headed in a minute. Drain runs fine, but it smells. That's biofilm on the pipe wall, and it is precisely what the enzyme dose exists for. 2 overnight treatments, and the smell leaves with the film. Standing water in the sink right now. Do not pour enzyme into it. It will sit on top of the water and do nothing. Get the water down first. And the garbage disposal. It grinds, it does not digest. It hands your line the same grease and starch in smaller pieces. Scrape plates into the trash before they hit the sink. And pour cooled grease into a can you throw away. All right? I promised you a drain that gives you early warning, and this is it. Find the lowest drain opening in your house. In most older homes, that's a basement floor drain. If you're on a slab, it's whichever tub or shower sits lowest. That drain is a gauge, and here is what is measuring. Everything in your house feeds one main line running out to the sewer. When something goes wrong out there, the water backs up the system and it comes out of the lowest opening it can find, because water does not climb. So your lowest drain shows the trouble first, and it shows it small. A little standing water around a floor drain after a load of laundry. A gurgle down there when the toilet flushes upstairs. A smell that comes and goes. Those are early symptoms of a mainline problem, and they show up weeks before anybody's basement gets flooded. So check it. Once a month, walk down, pour a bucket of water in, and watch it go. If it takes it clean, your main line is clear, and every clog you get is a fixture clog you can handle yourself. If it's sluggish or water rises when you run the washing machine, you have advance notice on something worth real money. Which brings me to the part where I keep myself honest, because plenty of prevention videos will lie to you right here and pretend a routine handles everything. It does not. There is one clog no habit on earth stops, and it's out in that main line. Tree roots. Roots hunt water. They find a hairline crack or loose joint in that buried pipe, and they grow in and keep growing until the line is strangled. That is not buildup. No screen catches it, no enzyme digests it, no flush touches it. It's a structural problem with the pipe, and it needs a machine and a professional. Worth every dollar, because a main line backup sitting there is raw sewage in your basement. That's a health problem. Roots are also the exact thing your lowest drain warns you about. So that monthly bucket of water is not a prevention habit. It's a smoke detector. 4 drains, 4 failure modes, 4 catches, 1 treatment, and 1 gauge in the basement that tells you when to stop doing it yourself and pick up the phone. That's the whole system, and it runs you a few dollars a month. One last thing. That guide. 100 old house fixes that save you. Thousands has the room-by-room checklists and the seasonal calendar, so none of this has to live in your head. Links in the description, or scan the code on your screen. And if you want more old house fixes that keep your money in your pocket instead of somebody else's, subscribe to Roger the Pipe Guy. Now go count your drains. Kitchen, bathrooms, tub, shower, laundry, basement floor. Walk the house and write the number down. Whatever that number is, that's how many catches you need and how many you've been protecting. If those 2 numbers do not match, you already know what to do this weekend.